particular in the UK and USA. High level of existing inventories as well with retailers seem to have played out on the company's performance this quarter. So, what's the outlook for the second half in light of these challenges, which could potentially persist?
So I think let me just give you a perspective. The macroeconomics definitely are not looking good for everybody across the world. And it has been challenging in the terms of freight, cotton, and of course the energy basket. All of them have had their role, and of course that expedited the whole inflation in US, UK, and Europe. While I'm having said that, I'll give you a perspective of cotton. Cotton last year was India was 20% far more expensive than any other cottons across the other continents. And that made us a little bit more uncompetitive. But if I look at today, the cotton prices have come down and they're around 5 to 7%, little higher than where it was earlier. Freight costs have come down by around 50%, but the energy baskets are still challenging. Looking at that, but the macroeconomics is like softening, but the demand yet will take some time. Why? Because quarter 3 is the time the holiday season's yet to be seen. Amazon's Prime didn't do that well, so there is a wait and watch. It's the end of the financial years for a lot of retailers. So definitely that's going to be again a big one to wait and watch. So looking at, and for Welspun, 70% of our businesses are replenishment programs. So that's where our business models are all good. It's the macroeconomics. As everything comes back to where it has to be, we'll be all up and kicking. I will not be able to take on the have to right now, but there is hope about the commodities coming down and the opportunities there. Having said that, our licensed brands actually like Martha Stewart and Scott, they grew tremendously by 30 to 50% into these markets, even in the recessionary times. So that again is an opportunity. And looking at all this, I think a strategy of emerging businesses, which is growing at a CAGR of around 43%, that is about domestic retail, flooring, and advanced textile, actually has that bright spot. India at its GDP growing at around 13.5%, that becomes, and the retail segment growing at 18 to 20%. Our retail businesses and two power brands that we have, Spaces and Welspun, they grew at 60%. Our retail businesses grew at 30%. I think that's where our opportunity is. So overall, looking at the macroeconomics, yes, they are tough, but Welspun India's opportunities are there.
Sure. But, I'm so glad, Dipali, that you could give us categories where you see actually an improvement coming in. But could you also highlight what geographies could actually pump in that kind of demand and volume?
So, India, of course, is going to be a big opportunity for us. When we look at the rest of the world, whether it is the Middle East and the other parts of the world, Japan, Australia, we grew by 39%. So that again is going to be that bright spot. So it's like a mixed bag that we see. Hospitality, I mean, I must tell you, when we look at the wallet share of the consumer, where is that wallet share going? It's not going into white goods, it's not going into home, and it is not going into health and wellness. It's going into travel and experience. So that is the opportunity also where in the terms of category and product, we see that growing. Now, whether it's going to be United States, we see our hospitality growing there as well. So India, definitely. So that's where we see that kind of focus coming in.
Right. Give us a view then, Dipali, going forward in terms of what the outlook is on the flooring business. Because we understand that has not seen very strong growth this time around. What is the capacity utilization? Around 31% is it in Q2? What's the outlook and when do you see a ramp up in this segment and what's the revenue potential?
So one thing I just wanted to add on here with about flooring as well. We set up this plant and the COVID happened, and that actually it's a green plant, one of the finest technologies in this part of the world. Opportunities for China plus one as a very big opportunity. I must tell you, our domestic business for flooring grew by 138%. in commercial and institutions. So you can imagine the potential that it has there. For globally, you already know that the markets are slow. So definitely it'll wait. We'll wait and watch how that goes in. And as that and our everything is in place, as it starts kicking in is the time our flooring globally will come in. But India, I must really harp on, has grown 138% and and kicking to grow even more aggressively going forward.
The domestic retail business has seen a strong revenue. What's the margin profile here? What kind of percentage does it contribute to your overall top line?
So I will tell you, our domestic business definitely it's contributed around 6.6% to half one, and we're looking at around 20 to 13% contributing to our top line in the next 2 to 3 years. The margins we definitely are, we saw the commodity pressure, but the demand was there, and it definitely does contribute significantly. It'll continue to as we get the because we have invested around 10.5% on our marketing, so that actually did also contribute to our impact on the margins. But definitely as we go forward, our margins will also take an uptake there.
Dipali, and so glad that you could take time out and speak with us today on ET Now.
Thank you.